What is up, y'all? Fan guy here, ready to do some Week 7 analysis on Draftkings this week. Gonna look at some matchups, figure out what plays we like, what plays we don't like. Last week, another moderate week for us. We called some heavy hitters. We called some, didn't call some. I actually did play the Indy running back who went off, but that report for sure came in later than I made the video. Always got to keep an eye out for stuff like that. I only had him on 5 to 10% of my lineups, though, and he seemed to be the guy you really needed to have to break the slate. So, hopefully we could figure out some stuff this week, take a look at a couple things, and see how it goes. So let's just jump right into it. First, we're going to start with quarterbacks. So this week, for me, a lot of the higher priced quarterbacks are the way to go. You got Jackson against Cleveland. Think he could have a giant game. You got Mahomes against San Francisco. Could have a good game. Herbert against Seattle. Could have a really good game. Burrow also could have a good game. Prescott making his return against Detroit. It's another juicy matchup. And then Brady, if he, is feeling a little some way about his performance last week, he has a real tendency in these games to come back hard. So, I actually really like all the top 6 quarterbacks this week. I think they all have respectable matchups. There's none of them I really don't like. I think any one of those 6 could be the way to go. Not as crazy about this next tier. Rodgers has been shaky. Carr, they should have a pretty good, comfortable win over Houston, so I don't think he's going to have to throw a bunch. Goff's up against a really good Dallas defense. Trevor Lawrence, there's some windy conditions there. I think it's going to be a run-heavy game. Tannehill is Tannehill. Geno Smith, this is the guy that's low-priced that I would definitely consider playing this week, would be Geno Smith. Really good matchup against the Chargers and what should be a high-scoring game. No, don't really care for any of the people below him either. That's going to be a negative. So, yeah, the only person that I'm going to be playing that's cheap this week is Geno Smith. And most of my other quarterback selections are going to be coming between these top 6 cats. My worry about Brady is that if Carolina doesn't keep up with Tampa Bay, which if Brady's going off at the beginning of the game and Carolina falls behind a lot, they're just going to run the ball in Tampa. They don't really have a we're just going to step on it gear. So, for me, that does make him a little less than the rest of the pack. I think all these cats have pretty good matchups, but the one I'm going to pick in this particular instance... Oh, this is tough. I like so many of these guys. I've already built some lineups this week, and I have all of the combination. Every single one of these guys on a different lineup. So, on this particular lineup, let's go ahead and say that Dak Prescott comes back and has a saucy sort of day. So we're gonna play with that game script right there. So now we're on the running backs. Let's see. Okay, so McCaffrey, he's up against Tampa. It's too expensive. Eckler, another juicy matchup. So expensive though. But Eckler's been money. But I think he could have a great game. I think Henry could have a great game against Indy. Taylor could have a great game. He is finally fully healthy. I would not be surprised to see him come out and put it to him. I wish this game was in Indy, though. Chubb, he's been getting the job done, man. He really has. Last week was his first really bad week. This is a game, though, that I think they fall behind, and he's not going to be utilized in the same way. I love Saquon this week. I think, he's been limited all year, so that's fine. This is just a run-heavy game script. The New York offense is going to run through him. I think he could have a giant day. He is definitely my running back pick of the week. So for that reason, I'll throw him on here. Fournette could have a great game, especially if Tampa gets up on Carolina like they like they could or should, then they could just lean on him the rest of the day. Man, that price tag. Oh, buddy, they're pricing these guys high, like all of them. Don't really understand Aaron Jones's price. I was big on him last week, and he did not perform at all. Not really sure why they have him priced with all these other cats. Obviously, they think it could be a big game for him. Him and A.J. Dillon have been 50-50 on the snap share and stuff like that, but I definitely wouldn't count Aaron Jones out this week. Super juicy matchup. They have Joe Mixon kind of in a tier by himself. Atlanta's run defense has actually been pretty good. Mixon hasn't done anything this year to ever make me feel like he could break a slate. Good matchup this week, though. Could be a good week for Mixon, but I'm not betting on it. DeAndre Swift, latest injury news is that he was limited yesterday, and they already knew that. They're saying he's supposed to go. Still, a matchup against Dallas isn't the best. I'm probably going to go ahead and pass on Swift this week. Jacobs, in a phenomenal matchup, has been looking like a beast, been getting the snaps, been getting the work. Against Houston, worst run defense in the league. I almost want to just slam down Jacobs right now. I'm going to do it even though it's really expensive. Just the matchup's too good, and yeah. But we're not done talking about running backs, because then we got the other running back in that game, Dameon Pierce. Another good play this week. They're going to run through him, but I'm just worried Houston falls behind, and he does catch some passes too, though, so could be a great game for Pierce. Breece Hall could have a big game. They've been using him. He doesn't get as many snaps as you would think, so, you know. Jamal Williams, again, same reason as Swift. Not going to play him against Dallas. Edwards-Helaire, there's a lot of question marks around that backfield. Ezekiel Elliott, a lot of questions around that backfield as well. Though this is a pretty good matchup for Zeke to do his thing. Melvin Gordon, there's a lot of drama. He's going to start this game against the Jets. A lot of drama around him right now. I think he could have a giant week, actually, if they utilize him right. This is going to be a good game script for Melvin Gordon. If he gets the bulk of the work there, then I think he could have a great week. James Robinson's been slowly looking worse than ATN. We kind of knew that was coming. But I would definitely play ATN over James Robinson. Either one of these guys is a great play, though. If Robinson does happen to get the work and the opportunity, this could be a good game for him. I do think one of the Jacksonville running backs is going to do well in this game. Oh, that's Jackson from last week. Yeah, well, with Jonathan Taylor back, don't really expect to see much from Mr. Jackson. Kenneth Walker, great play at 5,800. Seattle. Chargers are an awful run defense. Seattle is a run-heavy team, so I definitely see maybe even being able to play Kenneth. You know what? Oh, are we going to do it? 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 Damn, I like Kenneth Walker at that price tag, man. I like Kenneth Walker at that price tag, y'all. I do like Kenneth Walker at this price tag. That is a low price tag. Huh. I unfortunately think, okay, so look, I think LA, the Chargers are gonna get out to a good lead over the Seahawks, and Walker may not be able to be used as much if they can't keep up. I think they're gonna have to throw a little bit. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game though, which makes me wonder why I'm picking Dak Prescott. I'm about to just revamp this entire thing. All right, ready for this? I'm going to go with my cheap lineup to show you that I'll back it up. I'll go Geno Smith. Has he had a date? I mean, everyone again. Huh. I'm going with him. Fuck it. Geno Smith, you're my guy on this lineup. Got 2 expensive running backs that I'm running. Still on running backs. Jeff Wilson Jr. like Jeff Wilson Jr. a lot this week, and like his price tag. If San Francisco is able to keep, the game low scoring, they'll grind it with him against a lot of opportunity for a decent game for him. Tony Pollard, never know, man. Dallas, somebody should do good from Dallas this week. A.J. Dillon, again, we don't know what's going on there. So Brian Robinson Jr., he doesn't get as many snaps as people think, which is probably why he's priced here, because he's not as much of the bell cow as people think. ATN should easily be priced ahead of these guys that are ahead of him. I don't know. He's actually playable this week. I ain't messing with anyone below that. Yeah, I ain't messing with anybody below that. There's just too many good, juicy running back matchups up here. Man, I hate having 2 really expensive running backs that are already going. That is unfortunate. Unfortunate. Trying to see where my budget's at. That's why I'm looking at defenses right now. Trying to see if there's a really cheap defense. Like, if you think the Panthers are going to put it on Brady, because Brady's been all off, but I don't believe that. So for me, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with the Jaguars for my defense here anyway. Okay. Receivers. Devontae Adams always could have a great day. You never know. Jamar Chase always could have a great day. I think his big game last week probably means he won't have back-to-back huge games. So I'm going to fade him this week and hope for the best. I might play a little bit of T. Higgins, assuming that, maybe they're going to try to get him a little bit of work, maybe even Tyler Boyd flyer. Debo, they're going to need him if they're going to hope to keep up with KC. So I think he could have a big game. Pittman Jr., they've been using him a lot. This is going to be what I think is going to be a run-heavy game in what I believe is not optimal weather conditions. But he has been getting... dude got 16 targets. I think he's gonna fall back obviously this week, but I think that'll be a run heavy game. So I'm gonna fade Pittman this week. I'm gonna fade both the guys who had huge weeks last week, being Chase and Pittman. This feels to me like it could be a Debo day against KC. Could also be a Kittle day. I don't know. Mike Williams, I don't really know why they haven't priced this high. I would like to play Mike Williams, but damn, pricing him this high, you almost know he's going to bounce back this week against really bad Seattle. I really want to play him this week, so I'm going to take him even though he's expensive. St. Brown could have a great day with Detroit against Dallas. If this turns out to be a little higher scoring than people think, could be a big day there. Mike Evans, if Brady decides he's pissed off and comes out shooting, Evans could have a big day. CeeDee Lamb, same with Dak. Dak comes back and does his thing. CD is going to be good to go and a great play this week as well. Keenan Allen, haven't gotten his Thursday update yet. Wednesday he was limited. Question marks there. Could easily see putting him in for Mike Williams if he goes. Metcalf. I really want to play Metcalf because he's with Geno Smith. What I'm scrolling down for is I'm trying to see where Tyler Lockett's at in his health. He was a non-participant yesterday. Interesting. That means DK is going to be a good play this week, and I got to pair him with Geno. If Geno has a big day, I think DK has a big day. If they have a big day, I would not be surprised if Mike Williams has a big day. But what I might also do is take off Saquon, Go back to, man, I really... I could then switch out Mike Williams for Austin Eckler. And that'll tell a little bit better game script on here because we've got, the Chargers winning, leaning on Eckler. Gino and DK having to come up to do their thing. Okay, fine. Where were we at? T. Higgins, again, I just told you could have a great week, especially because I think Jamar Chase is going to come back down to earth a little bit. He was limited yesterday, but limited last week, played a full snap share. Godwin, same exact thing as Evans. If Brady decides he's pissed off and has a big week, this could be his week. Sutton, if Russell Wilson decides he wants to have a good week, and then he's tired of everybody ripping on him, Sutton's going to obviously be the beneficiary there. Cooper could have a good week. As a matchup, I think Baltimore's going to be leading in, and Cleveland's going to have to throw the ball. If they throw the ball a bunch, Cooper's the beneficiary there. Cooks could have a big week if Vegas pulls out to a lead. Cooks could have his first come out week. Man, I like a lot of these players this week. Not crazy about Ayuk or Kirk or McLaurin. Lockett, he's hurt, but it's possible if Lockett wasn't hurt, I would actually play him at 58 over DK at 66. Lockett has been pretty freaking good up until the last game, where he came back down to earth a little bit. Juju's, look, for me, Juju and Marquez Valdez-Scantling are crazy values in a high-powered KC offense at this cheap. So I think I'll probably play MVS on this lineup, because he's cheaper. And I've already used a lot of expensive slots. But Juju's definitely playable this week. So is Judy if you think that Russell Wilson's going to have a big day. Not crazy about any of these guys. Tyler Boyd got some sneaky value here. I still think it's more likely it leans to be a T. Higgins day. If Bateman comes back this week, he was limited yesterday. I'm waiting to see today's injury report. But if he plays this weekend, he could have a great matchup and is a great value at 5,200. Curtis Samuel, not without Carson Wentz, was making him a thing. So we don't know how that's going to go. Julio Gallup's a pretty sneaky play at 5,100 with Dak's return. I think you could easily play Michael Gallup. Romeo Dobbs, same thing. Could have a sneaky good day. He has been kind of the consistent target leader on the Packers. I think it'll be a low-scoring game against Washington, and I think it'll be the running back for the Packers who gets most of the scores. But you can definitely play Romeo Dobbs. Not crazy about any of these cats below. I do want to know if Reynolds is healthy for the matchup because he was not practicing yesterday. If I'm going to play a Jets guy, it'll probably be Corey Davis. He's just playing the most snaps, has the most opportunities. Obviously, Devin Duvernay, keep your eye on Rashad Bateman's status. If Rashad Bateman's out, Devin Duvernay becomes a really good price at this price point. Good play at this price point, rather. Dude, how the heck? Give me Scantling at 4,400. That's ridiculous. I get it. He hasn't had big games yet, but he plays on one of the highest scoring offenses or one of the highest powered offenses. He plays really a lot of their snaps, and he had such a goose egg bad game last game that I think he almost has to come. I just believe in ebbs and flows, and I think that he plays just as many snaps as Juju. So he should easily be due for some scoring on that offense. So I'm going to go that way with it. As far as any other really cheap receivers, keep your eye on Khalif Raymond. If Josh Reynolds doesn't go, Khalif Raymond is going to be one of their options behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. So if you need something real deep, and Josh Reynolds doesn't go and DJ Chark doesn't go because neither one of them may not go, then Khalif Raymond is actually a pretty sneaky play at 3,700. Tight ends, so Kelsey is priced like a high-end receiver. It is what it is. I won't be playing him or Andrews in daily fantasy much simply because their price tag's just too high. And unless they have a matchup where I just think they're going to absolutely break the slate, I'm not, I just can't do it. Waller, I don't like him at this price tag either. He hasn't really had a too great a year. And he didn't practice yesterday, so he's banged up. No. I do like Kittle. I like Kittle this week. Hawkinson's going to come back down to earth with some of those pass catchers getting healthy. Pitts could be okay. Against Cincy, I think they got to throw, but I just want to see more usage from him. Really like Njoku's chances this week. He is in a matchup I think they're going to lose. They're going to need to throw to him. He actually has been getting targeted pretty heavily for a tight end. So I'm pretty stoked about that. We finally got to see the resurgence of Kittle. This might be one of the last weeks that we get him reasonably priced. And it's in a matchup that they're going to need him. So I'm going to go Kittle because of this KC matchup. And I think they're going to need to throw. Are there any other? Let's see. Tanyan could have a good game. He got a shitload of targets last week. Everett, I wish he was healthy. He didn't practice yesterday. If you need somebody cheaper, you can go Everett. Schultz is good whenever Dak plays too. Hayden Hurst is a pretty good play. Another revenge game for him. He was limited last week, limited yesterday in practice, but probably the lowest tight end that I'm thinking I would play here is Hayden Hurst, as I do think he could have a pretty good game. Given the fact that they're playing against Atlanta, his revenge game. You know what? I might even flex Hayden Hurst in this lineup to be crazy. And if I do that, then I can actually get another good player. And I kind of want... Or do I just go deep? Anyway, that's our opinions on stuff. I'm going to round about this. Y'all don't need to sit here and watch me go through my mental thought process on a lot of this, but I am going to be switching this lineup around a little bit. But some combination of Debo or Kittle should go off in that game. But that's what we got this week, guys. Defenses. Obviously, I took the Jags because I like the Jags. So... I'm obviously big on them. They're one of the cheaper ones I actually like. I do think that there's potential in the Panthers. They're super cheap. I always start with the low price defenses first because that's where you can maybe find a value somewhere. Not crazy about any of these. If you think that Aaron Rodgers is just washed up, you can take Washington's defense. I think the Jets defense could do good against Denver. Denver's been really bad. The Colts are fine to play against Tennessee. I think that's an okay play at 2,800. Sneaky play, but I have no faith in Tennessee right now, so I think the Colts are an okay play. I think you could play the Giants or the Jags in that game. You could play the Titans against Tennessee as well. Either of the defenses in that game seems pretty good to me. As those should be the lowest scoring games of the week. The rest of these, I don't know. They're just a little more expensive, and for what you're getting, maybe the Packers against a bad Washington new quarterback and stuff. The Bucks are a really good play. They're 3,900, but they're a really good play too. So that's what we got this week, guys. Trying to make this one quick today. Got some stuff to do, but hopefully at least gave you a few things to think about. And let me know how your lineups go this week, and go make that money. And I will too. Much love. Take it easy.